It's time for our Week 7 picks. Without further ado, let's begin. We've got the 8th-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide traveling up to the house that Eli Drinkwitz is presently building. 14th-ranked Missouri Tigers in Columbia. Alabama enters with a record of 4-1. Missouri undefeated at 5-0, leading the SEC in rushing. Darren, who do you like in this one?
Well, let me say first, they have an end zone under construction. I haven't heard nearly as much about it as I did Vanderbilt's end zones being under construction. Just like to make that point, but it does amaze me how much I've heard about the White Rock M, and how much conversation there's been about that missing from the end zone. But nonetheless, I just wanted to point that out. Made me feel better. I'm earlier in our episode this week, I picked this as my upset pick of the week, and I'm going to stand absolute by it. I think what Coach Drink is doing with this team, with what they have on the passing side, with what they have in the rushing with Ahmad Hardy, I don't think Alabama, until Alabama proves me wrong, if they prove me wrong, I don't think Alabama can stop this rushing attack, and it will make the difference in the game. So I'm going Missouri.
Speaking of your reference to end zones under construction, Darren, the simple truth is that people care a lot more about what happens in Nashville than Columbia, Missouri.
Okay. You know what? I hadn't thought about it. That's a valid point. I'll give you that.
I'm going to take the other side from you, Darren, and I've got Alabama coming away from Columbia with a victory. Washington State, formerly of the Pac-12.
I think they're still Pac-12. Isn't it them and Oregon State? They still formerly would be Pac-12 because now it's Pac-2. But I think it's them and Oregon State.
That's a 30 for 30 right there. How did anyone let the Pac-12 dissolve? It's ridiculous for UCLA and USC to be in the Big Ten.
Very much so.
Anyway, they travel to Washington State, travels to Oxford, Mississippi to face Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels. 4th ranked in the country, 5-0, averaging 40 points a game. Darren, do you need to deliberate over this?
No. This is going to be such a big win that even what some people think is big game Lane can't mess this one up. This is going to be a really nice win for Ole Miss.
Yeah, definitely the Rebs.
Yeah.
As we've talked about in a previous episode, the big game of the week. This is actually our SEC game of the week. The 6th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners against the unranked Texas Longhorns. OU undefeated, Texas 3-2. A historic rivalry. Darren, who do you like in this one?
I'm going to Oklahoma all the way. Boomer Sooner.
I've got the Sooners as well. 3:15 kickoff. Arkansas with interim head coach Bobby Petrino. Did you think you would ever say that 2 years ago?
Everybody saw that coming, right?
He's already expressed to the Arkansas administration he would like to be considered as a candidate for a job, the head coaching job. He's started to clean house. He's putting his all into it. Let's see if the Hogs respond. They've got a tough matchup in Neyland Stadium against the Tennessee Volunteers at 4-1. Yeah. You can't blame this one on Sam Pittman.
No, that's exactly right. And honestly, I think because it's Bobby Petrino, I think there's a possibility for it to be a first half shootout. But Tennessee, even if that ends up being the case, Tennessee will dominate the second half and will just take over the game. So even if the first half might be a little exciting for Arkansas fans, this is a Tennessee win.
Yeah, Vols all the way.
Yep.
A 6:00 game on ESPN, the Florida Gators trying to create some sort of momentum after that win against Texas, traveled to Kyle Field to face the undefeated Texas A&M Aggies, led by head coach Mike Elko. Darren, your pick.
as much as I like Billy Napier and as much as we talked about in a previous episode this week, if everybody wants to fire that dude, you talking about figuring out how to win a game, he can do it. But I think this Aggie team is legit. I think they are going to, this is going to be one of those games that they handle like they're supposed to. Not necessarily saying it'll be a blowout, because I think we saw a little bit of a different DJ Lagway, and I think that will make a difference. That being said, this is an A&M win. I think they'll road to 6-0 and do exactly what they're supposed to do.
Both these coaches are good coaches.
Absolutely.
Mike Elko, terrific. Billy Napier. The records are not the same. Elko's achieved more success early on than Napier has at Florida. Sometimes you got to go out and walk the crazy road. And I'm going to go a little crazy here and say that Florida is going to do what no one is expecting them to do against a superior opponent. Florida is going to leave College Station with an upset win to even their record at 500.
When nobody says Billy can't, it's when he shows up and says, yes, I can. So who knows?
I'm with you, Billy. The 10th ranked Georgia Bulldogs, a 6:30 game on ABC, traveled to Auburn, Alabama to play the Auburn Tigers, led by the not yet clicking Hugh Freeze offensive scheme.
Goodness gracious. It doesn't matter where this game is. This is a Georgia win. Sometimes you say a home, when they're looking at total score and all that kind of stuff, a home field can give you 3 points or 7 points. I don't even think the home field gives Auburn any extra points in this one. This is a Georgia win, and the Georgia defense makes the Auburn offense look even worse. I think this is going to be a rough night for Auburn fans.
Yeah, night game, Auburn, Jordan-Hare Stadium used to be one of the toughest places to play.
Yep.
I hope the fans show up. I hope they show up and continue that tradition, even with that said, I think Georgia's going to be too much.
I actually heard an Alabama beat reporter refer to Jordan-Hare Stadium as the stadium built on pixie dust and unicorn. But even with that being the case, there's still not enough magic for this game. And I think that's what we both agree on.
Yeah. A 6:45 game on SEC Network. South Carolina, led by head coach Shane Beamer with a record of 3-2, travel to Baton Rouge, Death Valley for a Saturday night game, an electric atmosphere, the best atmosphere in all of college football. However, LSU's offense has not shown up this year. They got a record of 4-1, that one loss to Ole Miss. That's the big question in this.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and go first, Darren. I think LSU is going to win the game. But the big question that everybody is asking is, what's the offense going to do? We've been kept in the dark on Nussmeier's injury. There's questions about how honest reports have been from the coaches. Are they trying to protect him? It's obvious something is not right with him.
Yep.
The LSU running game is virtually non-existent. If you take out one or two big runs, that's about it. With the amount of money that was spent on that receiving core, you've got to at some point put up points, and I hope we see that in this game. But we're going to wait and see. I think LSU is going to pull it out, even if it's a defensive struggle, low-scoring game. LSU will still win.
The thing that concerns me for LSU is the fact that you've got Sellers. That could be the real X factor of how this game turns out. That being said, I do think you nailed it in that it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I do think LSU comes out on top. I think the offense is still going to struggle. I think there are still questions that aren't going to be answered that people are going to be frustrated by at the end of this game. But I also believe this LSU defense is carrying an enormous chip on their shoulder because of how they looked against the Ole Miss offense, and they want to correct that image. I think that will drive this defense and end up being ultimately the X factor and the difference in the game, that they take control of this game, even if it's low scoring. And I think LSU comes out with the win on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are our picks for this week. Share with us your picks. Let us know how you did this upcoming weekend. Hit that subscribe button before you leave us today. We appreciate you watching, listening, and enjoy another great weekend of college football. Until next time, y'all take care.